Greetings! Today we are going to talk about the CAD Academy instructor resources for architecture. The CAD Academy is a pre-engineering, pre-architecture program for secondary and post-secondary education. I am Stephanie Kwame, and I have been adjunct faculty for 24 years at a community college, so I've been an instructor for a long time in technology education. I am also president of the CAD store, so I have that commercial aspect that I have as well. And I am currently technical chair for Skills USA. The resources that we have for instructors for architecture begin with the industry standard curriculum from the ADDA. I call the ADDA the keeper of the standards because they watch over the standards and they really don't change. So that's why I think that's great basic curriculum. It includes a syllabus, instructor hints, PowerPoints, quizzes, and testing. We also include professional development training that is available through your SolidWorks educational dealer channel because the CAD Academy is sold exclusively through them. We also uses our software tool, ArchiCAD by Graphisoft, because it was the first to the building information model. We have an instructor portal that has quick starts to help students or educators get started quickly on the software. Students have the software available for download as well. And we also have YouTube training videos online, and we also use the Extreme Engineering video series by Discovery Channel. When you start into our curriculum, the architecture program starts with a brief history of architecture in America. And we're going to go over just a couple of slides so you get an idea of what the information is like. And so what we do is we talk about humans have been building shelters for thousands of years, and if you've ever been caught out in a rainstorm in the mountains, you know that you really do need shelters. Human needs shelter. And the first Americans that came, the Europeans, they copied the Native Americans and made mud and plank homes. A lot of people think the log cabin was the first homes that were made, but that's not true. But the first log cabins were made by a Swedish colony in 1638 on the Delaware River. With the industrial age came changes, and everything started to change from factories popping up to being able to do repeatable parts. And with repeatable parts, windows, doors, etc., we saw a change in housing, and housing became larger, bigger, better. And during that time too, Henry Ford developed the first assembly line. One thing that was interesting is we also got to the pollution because we switched from wood to fossil fuels, and so we polluted the skies just a wee bit. And a lot of people don't realize, but if you were one of the homesteaders that came out and claimed land on the prairie, you could actually purchase a mail order house from Sears catalog, and that's number 115 over there, and build your own house from a kit. If you go through the heartland today, you will see that there are still houses out there that were built from kits from Sears, and they were very low price. We would also talk about architecture as a monument, and of course one that really stands out in our mind would be the pyramids in Egypt as a monument to the pharaohs, and there's a mystery as to the calculations. It used to be all solid shapes, or the different squares, circles, and everything were like a big secret, and everybody shouldn't know that. And so when you come up with the pyramid and the calculations involved in that, it was a secret, really. And how they brought those big blocks out into the middle of the desert is another mystery. And of course, the great Colosseum in Rome is amazing. All of the ruins there, when you consider the advancements that they had beautiful artwork in frescoes or paintings on the walls. They did Doric and Corinthian columns, and they were built to last because we still have them today. We still see them today. Architecture is also considered works of art. The skyline in Dallas, Texas is almost like little objects to art because everyone is unique and beautiful in their own way, and it makes a gorgeous skyline if you're eating in one of the restaurants that is on top of some of the buildings there. And you can't go without saying that a cathedral is not a work of art, usually taking many centuries and many people to complete it over years and years and years, and what a tribute it is to the love people had at that time. We also talk about great architects, and of course one of my favorite great architects would be Frank Lloyd Wright, because he came out and built Taliesin West in the mountains, McDowell Mountains in Arizona. So this building overlooks Scottsdale, Arizona, and at one time it was out in the middle of nowhere, and now it has urban encroachment up to with housing. But it was built out of the rocks from the mountain behind it. And I happened to work with Taliesin West during the time they were doing Monona Terrace, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright design for a community center. And they rejected it by one vote when he was alive, but they decided to build it after he passed away, and it is beautiful, and it's an amazing community center complete with views that you can see forever of the lake that it's by. And Frank Lloyd Wright also did famous houses like the Waterfall House over there. He believed in cantilever design, so you can see the overhanging here, and it means that it has it's structured one place and then it kind of hangs over and that's why they call that cantilever design. And he also went from such nice organic uses that a building should fit in its environment, because that's really what he believed, to the Guggenheim Museum in New York. And his design is clearly unique and awesome. You come in and take an elevator up to the top, and then you leisurely walk down and look at the artwork as you go down. If you wanted to go into architecture as a profession, you could become a residential or commercial architect, and that would be building buildings for houses or for commercial use. You could be a designer who really works under an architect and comes up with great ideas. You could do the mathematical part, become a structural engineer, and you are the people that we like to thank for when we're out in a musical venue or something. You've got big speakers hanging from the framework of a place that they know that the structure will hold it, and that's the structural engineer that figures that. You could also be an illustrator, and an illustrator nowadays would be really computer-aided design, one that would do rendering, some walkthroughs. A specification writer nearly does the whole project to just bid on the project, and an inspector goes out because they know architecture and they can inspect buildings to make sure that they're okay, and they give them either the red stamp, you know, you got something wrong, you got to fix, or the go ahead to continue building the building. Or you could be a CAD manager, and a CAD manager, among all the ones above, you really need to go to school, and you need to get a degree. But a CAD manager can actually be a graduate from high school or from a community college, as well as a drafter. And you could, if you are gifted with computers and learn software easily, you could be either one of those and help pay for your schooling as you want on to be an architect. We also have wonderful videos with our bundle, and one of them talks about the City Court building, and I found that really fascinating. And of course, in engineering or architecture, we really learn from our mistakes, and I think mistakes always come when there's a design change, or people are trying to save money, when they're trying to save money. So the City Court building, 913 feet tall in New York, was built lighter to save money. And it was also offset at the bottom, so the columns, supporting beams or columns, didn't align with the corners, but were offset to allow for a church to be down there, because they had demolished a church to put up this building. And in June of 1978, a student calls up the architect and says, you know, there's something weird about your building. So he started to take a look at it, and they had figured all kinds of force, but it was actually not ever at a 45-degree angle. And as he went further in, he discovered that they had done a design modification in the major V-braces, from welding to putting in bolts. And of course, a skyscraper moves, and as it moves, those bolts were unwinding. And so it goes on to show you all the preparations they take that takes place to protect the people, which are immense around it, without letting the people know that it might fail as a hurricane comes up. The coastline, they're busily welding these the fixes on the building, and of course it does stand. I thought it was interesting too. It has a first mass damper at the very, very top of it. It weighs tons. It was poured in place, and as the building starts to rock, it has a fluid that goes the opposite direction, and it calms it and keeps the building stable. You learn things like that from our videos. And the software tool we have is the FIRST to the Building Information Model. And I would have to say in architecture, that is the most exciting change going on. And of course, this program has been around for a long time, but people are just discovering it now. And what it means is it's like the parametric software that we use in our mechanical program called SolidWorks. And that means that you basically build the model and everything else is done for you. The drawings are, the elevations are, it knows everything. And if you change it once in the model, it changes every place. So this is a tremendous help. We've also discovered that the contractors love it better than the architects, because there is no doubt how the building will look. They save money because they can order things more tightly, because the first thing that they bring to a construction site is a big old dumpster. So it has really been revolutionary, and along with that has come green and sustainable design, and that's also included in our curriculum as well. The instructor resources we have also include YouTube training videos. So these are some YouTube training videos, and one that starts with ArchiCAD Beginning has a quick start that goes with it. So if you wanted to, you could actually show the ArchiCAD Beginning video, and we're going to put these up on the instructor portal as well. Whoops. And these are quick starts that we have developed for ArchiCAD, and we've cross-referenced these with our ADDA curriculum. And the idea at the end of the class, or the end of the course, would be that students could take an American Design and Drafting apprentice test and pass it, which means that they could actually go out and get a job and know a lot about what architecture is, what architects do, and know the standards as well. And we are hoping that we can also get instructors to be certified with the either the mechanical or the engineering test as well, and they would take the not the apprentice but the regular test. And this is the ADDA website. They have been around since 1948, and we work very closely with this organization. I personally know a lot of the people there, and a lot of them are educators, but they will do accreditation for curriculum, but they have some professional tests, and the examinations include architecture on to designers. And there is a small fee for these tests, but as a district you could work out a good price, especially for the apprentice test. And again, passing that test would mean that the students have achieved a industry standard level and know what they're doing. I recently had a student call in that was now not a student but working at Key College as an instructor, and he wanted to get the CAD Academy into Key College, and it was because he's a graduate from Broward County, and Broward County has been using the CAD Academy for some time. So we were very happy to hear that. We have a lot of success stories like that. This is the course outline for architecture. It's very brief, but it gives you an idea of how comprehensive it is, and we have, I believe, 27 units in the architectural program. And with it we have the ExamView Pro, and in the ExamView we have pre-done questions for each unit, and all you do is you say, I want to take so many of the true false, so many of the multiple choice, and you can make each test different if you want to. You can also do it online, and of course it will produce a instructor's answer sheet as well for you. But I think it's a wonderful and very comprehensive course. And of course the purpose of the CAD Academy and our mission has always been to empower instructors to make a difference by providing you the right tools to do the job. And in career technology education, we are training students to go into careers. And we all know that there's less architects and engineers than ever before going into careers. And I think that there's a lot of reasons, but something that can be a big help is to actually train them with the job skills they need to go into a career, and that's what our program does. And I think it really helps guide students and help them discover where their skills lie, so that they will go into these careers. Thanks for listening.